So what I'm about to show you is going to be the easiest, quickest and the most cost-effective way how you can build an AI cold calling agent, and there's literally no similar setup out there. The best part of it is you can get to access all of the manuals, all of the templates for free, so that you can literally copy the whole setup and use it inside your own business. So after watching this video, you will be able to build a complete AI caller that can call thousands of numbers within a few seconds. It will also be able to personalize the data so that you can get a higher conversion rate on these leads. Okay, and the best part of it is you can implement it in literally any kind of industry for any kind of business, and I promise you there is no similar setup that like this video. So this video is literally everything you need to get started with the best AI calling agent as well. Alright, that's it with the talking. Let's get right into it. To get started, we need a couple of tools. Number one is VAPI, which is basically our infrastructure provider for us to create AI cold calling agents. The second tool that we'll be using is Makecom, okay, which is basically an automation tool that would connect all of the services together. And the third obviously is Google Sheets, which we will be using for our database. And lastly, there is one fourth tool called JSON, but actually we don't really need a lot of it for that. It's basically a tool that would help you guys to fix improper JSON constructs, so you don't really need to think a lot about that. I'll just explain to you everything in the video. I am trying to create a community group for this, and I'll be probably sharing those templates and files, whatever you can see inside my YouTube videos, completely for free, so that you can simply copy it once you logged in. You will find the manual, but I will make sure to also include them in the description of this video of my community as well. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is basically set up the AI cold calling infrastructure which runs on VAPI. To do that, you just simply head over to vapi.ai, you create an account. Since I have already done that, so I'm just going to log in. The first step that I want you to do is obviously create a buy a phone number. I have already done that. So but if you haven't, all you need to do is just click on buy number. Okay, purchase a number. You can enter an area code from the US or Canada, okay, and just purchase a number through VAPI. If you're using Twilio or Vonage, you can add your very own credentials as well. So once you have done that, it looks something like this. Okay, yeah, you will have your number available here, like you have an ID that is right here. Okay, you will be able to select an assistant, which is not what we are going to do because that doesn't really matter in our case. So first we have first message prompt and a system prompt. You will be getting access to all of these in my own community. I will be making sure to also try to include all of these files inside the description below, so you can just copy them directly from the community or the description page and then paste it inside the VAPI if you don't know. And if you haven't worked with VAPI, it basically allows you to create any voice assistant visually right here within, I'm not going to go too much over the settings. I will just quickly fly over them because there are a couple of things that you might be confused if you have worked with VAPI before, which is this part here is dynamic text. Okay, because by default it doesn't really support dynamic text. So everything I'm going to give you today is actually optimized so that you can use dynamic text directly inside of VAPI to create a calling agent that supports these dynamic text for more personalization. So this is a feature I built into the workflows. I'm going to show you as well. Once we set it up, once you have set up your prompts, you can also use the transcriber if you want. I would just leave most of that stuff as a default, but if you need, you can just choose any from this. Okay, we can do the same for voice as well. I'm using currently Cartesia and Hannah. You can use any other different ones like 11 Labs, Deepgram, Azure, stuff like that, whatever suits your needs. Currently, you don't need to have any functions for this kind of bot or this cold caller. And for the advanced settings, you don't really need to make a lot of settings, but I'll still show you what you need to do. Or if they're by default, then that's great as well. In the next step, we're going to set up Google Sheet, Google Lead Sheet, which is basically where we store all of the leads or users data we want to call, and where we want to basically validate the information. Since I have mentioned it in the beginning that the agent that we are basically going to use or build is a real estate cold calling agent that can call up a user and just ask them if they want to sell the property and what kind of property it is that they're currently having. So those kind of information, we just simply feed it into into the Google Sheet. So that looks something like this. You will have access to all of that directly inside my community, or like you can just create this by yourself as well. It's very easy. So you can see it has a couple of columns. Okay, it has a phone number, the first name, the status, the want to sell, and also some extra property details. The phone number is pretty clear that I have hidden it because I don't want anyone to know those numbers. Also, if you have a lead list, you can simply add all of the phone numbers right here along with their details. So it's pretty easy. Like that is basically the definition of whenever we would like to make a call. So let's say you put in the information and you want to know, like, now start the call for that user. All you need to do, or simply set this to not called, okay, and then within a time frame of 15 minutes this AI agent will call this number and will basically ask him the questions, and then after automatically fills all of these information, which is basically like it tells you if the user wants to sell, which can either be a yes or no in the future, like, or not at all, like no. Also the extra property details is basically everything validated, what the assistant can gather from that user that he had a call with. And so there's basically nothing that you need to do here. This is the whole setup. I'm going to give you the whole thing for free, and obviously here I have my number, so I just hit it with a little bit, like, so you cannot see the number, and we're going to call this lead, for example, Alex. Okay, so this is what we would like to call and ask about the property. Since we haven't activated any scenarios, we will be doing that in the next step. But before, actually, we'll just go into Make.com. So once you have reached on Make.com, what you need to do is create a Make.com account and create 2 scenarios. You can create a scenario by clicking on like scenario, where, let me see here, right here. But again, since I'm giving you the files, what you need to do is just click here, import the blueprint, and then you can just get all of this scenarios and modules imported right into your system. So once you have done that, as you can see here, it looks pretty complex. Don't be afraid, you don't really need to figure out much. I try to make it as simple as possible. So the first thing that you need to do here is connect your Google account, Google Sheet. Okay, let's say that this is the sheet that I wanted to do. Just log into the Google account and connect the sheet from here. So this is basically where we add, like, this is the sheet where we basically added our leads. Once we have done that, you just simply click on OK. There are 4 more things that we need to configure, which is like adding assistant ID. Okay, you will be able to find it right here on the VAPI dashboard. Right here, this is the assistant ID. I will probably be hiding all of these things because I don't want those to be misused or anything, right? So yeah, so once you have once you have copied the assistant ID, you just paste it right here. Okay, next that you will need to copy is the VAPI API key. You will also be getting to find that right here. Hold on. Okay, here's where you get the API key. Just copy it, paste it right here. I'll probably hide that as well. Phone number ID goes for the same thing. Okay, hold on, I'll just show it to you. Here's where you find the phone number ID. You just paste it right here, click on OK, and then moving on, the last thing that we need to adjust right here is the dynamic variable setup. So basically it defines the dynamic text that we want to use inside of the assistant. If you are fine with having only the first name and the current time, then that's completely fine. But if you want, you can also use multiple different statuses, dynamic variables, which you need to add here. But for now, we're just going to use these things, the first name and the time. So once you have done that, you don't really need to adjust anything else here. You just click on scheduling on, you just start running these scenarios. So from here, we are also going to head over to the next scenario. So you create another scenario, you just import the blueprint, this blueprint right here. This is for the dynamic whole color sync data. You're going to import it as well, and once you have imported it, it looks something like this. In here, there are only 3 things that you need to configure, which is the first one obviously is to connect your cold calling database sheet, nothing else. So again, there are only 3 things that you need to configure here, which is again your cold calling database sheet. Okay, nothing else. You just click on OK, then you create a connection with OpenAI API key. You just log into your account, just click right here, click on OK. And also for the JSON key, I don't really think that it's going to be that important, but if needed, you can just create an account, put in the JSON key right here, click on OK. It's basically only used in order to fix improper JSON constructs, but most of the cases that doesn't really happen. If that so you don't really need that. Okay, so you just click on save and then you schedule this whole scenario. So now you go to your cold calling database sheet, you add a lead. Okay, for example, in that case I already have. So what I'm going to do is I basically call myself through that AI caller. Now I set it like to not call status right here. And if I'm going to run the scenario, and since I haven't scheduled anything yet, it means that they're not going to run. But again, also this is another thing that I need you to keep in mind. The Google Sheet module might be having a set timer of 15 minutes. You can just change it to like whenever an entry is triggered. So that will help you save a lot of the time. So with that, all I'm going to do is just test out the VAPI agent. Okay, so once you get the lead, I can just call them right into my number. What I'm going to do is just show you a conversation, a demo conversation on how the conversation could go. I'll just show you a demo conversation on how the agent will be talking to you. So let's just try to do that, okay?
Hi, first name. This is Sarah calling from Lean Horizons Realty. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for asking. I'm reaching out to see if you've considered selling your property. It's totally okay if not. I totally understand it's a big decision. Just wondering, have you thought about selling? Or is it something you might consider in the future?
Not really.
Gotcha. No problem at all. Just out of curiosity, can I ask what type of property you currently own and its location?
Yeah, so it's a penthouse with 3 bedrooms in Portland. So that sounds great. Like, it's a very good property actually.
Wow, sounds amazing. Portland is such a vibrant city. And a penthouse with 3 bedrooms must be stunning. Just out of curiosity, what's making you consider selling such a great property?
Yeah, I just don't live there anymore, but I still haven't thought about actually leaving the property so soon.
I understand. It's a big decision to make, and it takes time to figure out the right move. If you do decide to sell in the future, just know that we're here to help you every step of the way. We really appreciate your time talking to us. We're here to help whenever you're ready.
Yeah, that's sure. That's great. Thank you so much. So yeah, that's basically it. So now we basically just wait until the transcript is over, because the Make.com scenario, once you have activated them, we'll do the rest for you. And all you need to do is just wait. You will see the lead being updated right here. Okay, once you have connected every single thing. So since I have not connected all of these scenarios from my account, you will not be able to see it right here. But again, it's not like something that you need to be it's not rocket science. Basically, you just need to log in and just input your details. But the main heavy lifting has already been done in the modules, so you don't really need to think about that. I'll also explain a little bit on how those automations work. So what would happen now is, since I have basically told them that I would not want to sell, and maybe I might be in the future. You can also see that I have also mentioned a penthouse with 3 bedrooms in Portland. So this is just like a demo information. The ChatGPT will analyze it and then transfer it directly into the the Google Sheet. I don't know why I wrote YouTube. Okay, so it's a YouTube chatbot, so my bad. Yeah, so right now that from the transcript, but you can basically customize every single thing by that as well, going into the ChatGPT prompt right here. Okay, so basically defining the values you would like to have outside of that, from that transcript that we basically send along after the call. So in case there is something else that you would like to use, and so you can just change it right away. And anything besides that, every single thing should work right again out of the box. This is literally it. I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. I understand that I might have not covered all of the details. I will be creating a 1 hour or 2 hour video on every single detail, breaking down every single module, so that you get a good idea. In case you need to see some different kind of an AI voice agent, let's say for maybe for restaurants, dentist appointments, stuff like that, you can just let me know on the description below. I'll be happy to help you on that part as well. And yeah, for all the blueprints, I will be trying to mention that on the description as well. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It was pretty quick and pretty dirty. I understand that. I literally just used a prompt that asked twice for some reason if I want to sell my property, but that is obviously something we can just fine tune in the future. But again, it's just a nice starting point for you. You can just consider to maybe get a 80% to 90% built out AI voice agent. The only rest of the thing that you need to do is manage to get that 10%, which is going to be very easy. It's just going to repeat the same process and try to improve it. And so far that is it. This should be a very short tutorial, and my main goal with it is that to give you an idea of how powerful these AI voice agents are. And you will definitely see me making some step-by-step guides on how you can also create dynamic transient based assistants with VAPI, just to get a better understanding of how everything works. So currently this is still a static one with like very little dynamic details, but again I'll also create a transient assistant, okay, so that you can and I also make sure to actually include the blueprint to that as well, so that you can actually get to leverage that stuff for free for your business. And yeah, that's basically it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'd obviously appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel, and yeah, until next time, see you, take care.